These are the biggest trends of summer 2026, and if you're new here, my name is Johnny and I cover all things cycling. Over the past 10 years, cycling has evolved from pure performance into something more cultural. This summer continues to reflect that shift, and we can break it down into 5 main themes plus one bonus. Let's dive into it. 1. Collabs. 2. Premium club jerseys. 3. Skinsuits. 4. Individuality on the bike. 5. Lifestyle bleed. And one that is definitely going to divide opinion, hairy legs. Collabs have been a driving force in fashion for years now, and cycling is no exception. The latest standout example is the Supreme and Silk Mini Pump. It is a perfect illustration as to how cycling is crossed into fashion and how sometimes the product itself is almost secondary to the statement being made. We're also seeing collabs being made by brands that are already within the industry. Helmet brands are strengthening their collaboration with kit companies. Take for example Cask and Map or Street Protection with Panama Studios, creating exclusive colorways for already iconic products. And this is only going one way. Expect more crossover between fashion and cycling brands, building on what Rafa has done with Palace and Pata and what Supreme has done with Castelli. And with that, louder, more expressive kit designed to stand out. Big bike brands are also no exception when it comes to collabs. Companies like Specialized and Canyon have embraced the power of artist collaboration, with projects that reimagine widely popular frames, offering riders a more distinctive expression of identity, even when choosing some of the most ubiquitous bikes on the market. Personally, I'm a fan. I think it pushes design into new territories, and it also gives riders new ways to express themselves. The only downside is the price. Collabs do come at a premium price, and normally you can get the same thing at a lower price if it's not a collab. Alongside collabs, there is a clear rise in premium club jerseys. The cycling kit market is completely saturated with endless brands and colorways, so it's no surprise that riders are starting to look elsewhere. What is emerging is the rise of premium location-specific jerseys, pieces that are rooted in a scene, a community, a place. This is something driven by self-expression, but just as much by the desire to belong to something smaller and more defined. A compelling example is Orphan Street Clubhouse, where the kit kind of feels like an extension of the space itself, and not just something you wear on the bike. My local bike shop Bello Edge has also done it very well, having developed a clean performance-based jersey which feels considered and intentional. Major brands have also clocked onto this shift and they're leaning into it more and more. Rafa has long been setting the benchmark with this, with its RCC program specific jerseys, whilst MAP has also followed suit with the location specific jerseys. But even then, I'm not sure if these big brands are actually hitting the way they're intending to. More and more riders are moving away from these big brands towards smaller, more local names. It is less about logos and more about identity. Since Castelli introduced the first Skinsuit over 50 years ago, the category has largely struggled to make it onto the amateur weekend rider scene. It has been long perceived as a specialised piece of equipment only to be used by professionals and time trialists. More recently, however, that perception has started to shift. Skinsuits are becoming more and more accessible, with a number of brands providing rider-friendly options. And as the conversation around performance and marginal gains is making its way into the amateur scene, the skinsuit is steadily shedding its niche status, becoming an increasingly accepted part of the everyday rider's wardrobe. You might sacrifice some versatility, but the trade-off here is simplicity. You get a fully coordinated kit without having to think about combinations. At the higher end of the market as well, there is a compelling argument for value. With brands like Matt, for example, it's actually cheaper to get a professional skin suit than pairing bib shorts and jersey, making it a more economical entry into premium kit. So yes, right now this might be the smartest way to get yourself some premium kit. This is a trend I'm personally buying into. I like the way it looks, and if I can get a little marginal gain here and there, I'll take it. Mario Cipollini was the original architect of Individuality on the bike, pushing the boundaries with bold and unapologetic race fits. When it comes to fashion, he's cycling's Allen Iverson. And now, after many years, there's still a growing desire for individuality on the bike, a need for self-expression and a way to stand out in an increasingly homogenized space. And today's riders are finding their own way to make their setup their own. Custom decals and sticker kits have become increasingly more popular, adding a layer of personality onto otherwise standard frames. At the same time, big bike brands are recognizing the shift. As previously mentioned, they are responding with a steady stream of distinctive finishes and limited edition colorways, offering riders a route to differentiation. The Labubu effect has also somehow made its way onto the cycling scene. Attaching charms to the back of your saddle has been a new trend that will become more and more popular. Seeing riders embrace this creativity has definitely brought a new wave of energy to the sport, and I can't wait to see what new forms of individuality will emerge next. As cycling continues to spill into the culture, brands are expanding beyond performance and into lifestyle. It's no longer just about what you wear on the bike, but also what represents you off it. That sense of belonging now extends onto everyday pieces. Brands like Rafa have been doing this for years, but often in its simplest form, like for example slapping a logo on a t-shirt or a hoodie. Now there's a clear shift. There's more intention, more design, Off-bike pieces feel considered and not just merch anymore. Collaborations are also evolving, no longer limited to jerseys, bibs or other cycling equipment, but also extending into full lifestyle capsules. And that can be anything from a well-designed t-shirt to something more unexpected, like Panama Studios dropping a neck scarf and espresso cups. And these things all point into one direction. Cycling is no longer just a sport, but it's an identity that you carry into your everyday life. The debate about hairy legs has been going on forever and it's not going anywhere. This summer though, at least for me, hair is back. Turning up to the group ride with hairy legs will be more in than having freshly shaved legs. It taps into that wider mindset in cycling right now, doing things your own way and caring less about what traditional cycling thinks. At the same time though, the marginal gains people and the traditionalists aren't going anywhere. There will always be riders chasing every single possible advantage and also people that just genuinely prefer the clean shaved look. Personally, I'm going full carpet this year guys, and I think turning up with hairy legs will be cooler than having a moustache. I know I've missed something guys, so if there's anything else you think will be in this summer, let me know in the comments. At the same time, if you don't agree with some of my takes, let me know your views. Regardless of that guys, wherever you are, I hope you have a fantastic summer of cycling and you have the best time on the bike. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much. I really hope you've enjoyed the video. Consider subscribing if you want to see more of me. And until then, see you in the next one. Ciao.